My name is TJ Peterman. I'm the director of bands here at Cypress High School, and the group before you on stage is the Symphonic Winds. I would like to also thank our administration for being here tonight. I believe you have Mrs. Ellis in the house, or Mrs. Ellis. Good up, Mrs. Ellis, everyone. We're very fortunate to have her here. Probably the band's biggest fan back there. So, thank you, Mrs. Ellis, for being here. Tonight, we've got our winter concert that we're going to put on for you. We have 4 concert ensembles with all variety of skill sets and ages and in terms of how long they play their instrument. And the group before you on stage is a really great group of students who worked really hard this year and had a great marching season, is now having a great concert season so far as well. So we've got 2 pieces on the program, and we're going to open with a Christmas Proclamation by Robert W. Smith. This is the Cypress Woods High School Concert Winds. One thing I didn't mention before we started is after marching band, everybody thinks that it slows down for the band kids. But it's quite the opposite. I actually feel like they have more things going on, maybe not as for long after school and on the weekends, but they have more things happening. We go into region band, start working on ourselves as ensembles. They have more individual responsibilities. So we actually have had, I think, a total of 9 rehearsals to put together the entire winter concert program for all the bands, which is our shortest time frame we've ever had, and it's probably the most successful they've been at putting it together, so we're really proud of that. We would like to recognize some students, and I didn't tell you we were going to do this, but we have what's called the TMEA Region Band. It's the all-state process, actually, and the difference between middle school and high school is when the students get to the high school level, they have an opportunity to go on the all-state track. So middle school, you have district and region, but in high school, they add the area and the all-state allocation. And it's an advancing round that keeps going all the way up until they get to the top 1% of students in the state of Texas, which is really, really cool. And we have students in this ensemble who are actually putting their names in the hat and attending those auditions, and it's not a requirement for the course, for the concert ones, but it's really cool to see students who are trying to push themselves in the program and grow on their instrument starting at such a young age. So if you are auditioning for freshman region or regular region band, please stand to be recognized this weekend. You know, they're doing a really great job, and we're looking forward to seeing how it shakes out in the audition results. So we are going to close our portion of tonight's concert with another piece by Robert W. Smith. He writes really great band music, especially for like holiday concerts and spring concerts. This one's really cool. It's kind of dark, so it's not really like festive, so to speak, but it's really cool and the kids like it. So I always try to program it because they really enjoy working on it. So this is called A Minor Holiday Celebration by Robert W. Smith.
All right, hello everyone, and thank you for being here at our winter concert tonight. My name is Samuel Belcher, and I'm an assistant band director here at Cypress High School. We will begin our portion of the concert tonight with our first piece, Snow Globe by Robert Sheldon. So would you please join me in welcoming to the stage the Cypress Woods Symphonic Band. All right, I have a couple of recognitions to make before we finish our portion of the program. First off, we are incredibly proud of the work that all of our students put into our fall marching show, Duo Concert Talk. And I hope you all had the chance to watch how amazing they were. I know on our side it was the most difficult content-wise that we've asked the students to do. So we're really proud of how that turned out. A couple of fun facts about this year. This was the first time in school history that we placed in the top half of finals at 2 BOA regionals in the same year. Along with that, this was the school's 6th consecutive year to advance to the 6A state marching contest. Would you please give these students a round of applause? We are incredibly proud of them. We can't wait to do it again next year. So, secondly, at the end of this week, students across the program will be participating in the TMEA Region Band audition process at Cypress Ranch High School. It actually starts tomorrow. For the audition, students are asked to prepare 3 etudes provided by TMEA, which they perform anonymously for a panel of judges, and students who do well are invited to perform with one of 4 region bands or a freshman-only region band. So, students in the Symphonic Band and this band have the option to participate. So students, if you are auditioning this weekend for regular region or freshman region, would you please stand and be recognized? It's really cool that we have this amount of participation here because it's not an easy process, and the etudes are such a huge jump from middle school to high school, so it's really great that we have a lot of students participating. And we wish all of you the best of luck this weekend. All right, we will finish our portion of tonight's concert with We Wish You a Calypso Christmas by Rob Rome. Thank you again for being here tonight.
Good evening. Thank you for coming to the concert tonight. I'm very happy to be with them. I am Miss Crouch, but I actually was Miss Crouch, and now I am Mrs. Beals because I got married last week. Thank you. It's been a joy being able to share that with them. I've whatever kid is around and will listen, I'm look at my wedding pictures, and they're okay, lady, and then they walk away. But thank you guys for listening to me talk about my wedding for the past 2 years, because I've been engaged for 2 years and it finally happened. So they're probably just ready for it to be done. This evening, we are going to be playing 2 pieces all the way through. This was a goal of mine for them because sometimes in the past we'll pick things that are a little bit more difficult to get them to work on different skills, but we won't be able to perform the whole piece. And so this year, I really wanted the Symphonic Winds to be able to play 2 pieces all the way through and at a high level. And so I'm really proud of what they have accomplished in really only 8, maybe 9 rehearsals. They've been able to put 2 full pieces together. So I'm very happy and proud of them for doing that. So if you could give them a round of applause. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet tonight with my talking. We're gonna go right into our first piece. It is called Snowdrifts by Michael Orr. I hope you enjoy. So now I would like to recognize some of the individuals in the ensemble that worked really hard to prepare their Region Etudes early in order to audition for Region Orchestra. And that happened the week before Thanksgiving break. So if there's anybody in Symphonic Winds that auditioned for Region Orchestra, I would like you to please stand up so you can be recognized now. Now, if you made a spot in one of the region orchestras, please remain standing. Alright, that is our very own Tyler Brinkman. Not only did he get a spot in one of the region orchestras, he got first in his room and qualified for one of the area allocations. So give him another big round. Now, you can sit down. Alright. On the same topic, the top two bands in our program, it's really important for us that they really spend time on the region music and the region etudes. The top two bands are actually required to go and audition. And for a lot of them, it's really a new thing. For some of them, it's not new, but it's new to actually go and really audition for it. When I was in high school, I know that I was not always the best in my region etudes, and it was something that was really daunting to me, having to go and play and be judged and then get a ranking afterwards. So it was really important whenever I started doing Symphonic Winds that I wanted them to have an opportunity weekly to be able to practice performing in front of other people, because that's the only way that you're going to get better at the skill. And I wanted them to be able to feel more confident whenever they went into the region audition that they were required to go to. So over the last several weeks, and hopefully you've heard them at home, they've been practicing the region etudes and doing in-class performances for each other and receiving grades. Now, tomorrow, we'll begin the 3-day round of region auditions. So just like you right now, to recognize them and just give them some good luck and some good vibes for the region auditions tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. I would like us to take the time to thank all of you for supporting them throughout their first, I don't know how many months, but fall semester of school. We're really supporting them through the marching season because that's a difficult task. It's just a lot of hours. They gotta keep playing their instrument. They also have to go to maybe other sports, other activities, and do schoolwork and things like that. So thank you so much for caring for them, supporting them, and loving them through that. So could you please give your audience members a round of applause from the stage? Clap for them. We would not be able to do any of the things that we are able to do now if it was not for your support and your support of them. So I really do thank you very, very much for what you do for them and what you do for us. We will now be closing our concert with a piece called Across the Alaskan Snow by Gerard Hall. It is actually about, and here I am blanking on all the history. I forcefully read them the whole piece description. They were like, okay, at the end. But it's about dog sleds in Alaska. Not necessarily about Christmas or winter, but it's still a cute, fun piece. Okay, I hope you enjoy. and I was like, soloists are gonna stand up first. But they all stood up. But thank you so much for coming. That is all that we have for the Symphonic Winds. They should be out shortly if you're gonna take them and go. But we highly do encourage staying and watching the Wind Ensemble. They've been doing really great work as well. So if you would like to stay and listen to their 3 pieces, I highly encourage it. Thank you so much. Can you give them one more round of applause?
It's me again. All right. If you don't know me, my name is TJ Peterman, and I'm the director of bands here at Cypress High School. Thank you so much for being here tonight for our winter concert. This is our last group for the night, and I'll introduce them to you in just a moment. I would like to take this time to acknowledge our awesome administration that is here tonight. Mr. Turner snuck in at I think at the end, or maybe the very beginning of the concert went, so I didn't see him, but we have Mr. Turner and Mrs. Ellis here tonight. And I hope Mr. Turner. So, please thank them for being here. I'm just here to tell you, nobody sees how much work goes on behind the scenes up in that front office. So we're very grateful that they're carving out a little time tonight to be here with us. So I'm not going to talk too much yet. I'm going to go and get started with the program. The first piece on the program is actually a march by John Philip Sousa, which is a little odd to have a winter concert. But there's a melody that's used in it, which I think is really, really cool and unique that it was used in this march context. So please welcome to the stage for the first time this year, the Cypress High School Wind Ensemble. All right, well, so you probably recognize the melody, yes? Okay. It's like really cool. I'd never heard this march before, and then I think it was 5 years ago, one of what is now one of our main band clinicians and consultants who comes in every year, she was doing a local region band, and I went and attended the rehearsal, and I heard this, and I was like, who wrote this? Like, this is brilliant. And I was like, oh, it's Susan. I was like, that's really odd. I've never heard anything from him like that. So I thought it was appropriate to open the concert tonight. While we're getting switched around, I wanted to take a moment and recognize our students who auditioned for the Region Orchestra. So in high school, there's 2 tracks. There's Region Band and Region Orchestra. For the orchestra track, the benefit for some of these students is that they get an opportunity to get feedback from maybe directors that are in the room, or they get an opportunity to have like a practice run before Region Band auditions. It's the same music. And instead of playing with the band, they play with strings. And you can also earn area allocations to audition for All-State Band through this as well. So that once they get the area allocations, they have that, they don't have to worry about it later, which is really nice. So if you auditioned for the Region Orchestra this year, please stand and be recognized. If you earn a spot in the Region Orchestra, continue to stand. Yeah, remain standing. And then if you earned an area allocation to audition for All-State Band through the Region Orchestra track, please remain standing. So we had that literally the week before Thanksgiving. The concert was the first Saturday of Thanksgiving break. And now every student on stage is going to be auditioning for Region Band tomorrow, Saturday, and next Monday. So we wish them the best of luck. We know they're going to represent themselves well, and also the Cypress Band program. So the next selection on the program is not really, again, winter concert music, but I think it fits really well. This is from an opera. You may have heard this sometimes in movies in the background and not really known what it was, but this next piece is called Nessun Dorma by Puccini, and it is from an opera. if you like what you hear, there's another opportunity. Monday, December 15th at the VPAC, we are performing with our really awesome choir and orchestra programs. Every other year we do what's called Masterworks, and we do our own little concert at the VPAC and do a combined piece that uses all three organizations to conclude the concert. So we'll be doing that on Monday, December 15th. I believe the concert starts at 7 p.m. if you would like to attend that. We'll probably do the same works that you heard tonight, but even a little bit better than what you probably hear now because we'll have the week under our belt. And then we'll have the combined piece. What's really special for me is this is the third year, I think it's the third year. Third year that I've done that? Is it year three? Okay. 3 or 4. Last year we did what was called the Midwest Clinic. And so we had been doing concert band since July last year. And so we had an hour program put together to take to Chicago and perform right before the winter holiday, the Christmas holiday. And so when we started concert season, they were already like pretty much playing at their peak. I mean, we could play whatever we wanted to in the spring. And so what I learned from that experience, after having to learn, I believe, 10 pieces for that concert during marching season, was the more that they read, the faster they learned stuff in the spring and the better they played. And so it was really important to me to put a variety of music in front of them early and as many notes as possible, because we're going to try not to do Midwest because you can't do it for another 4 years, but we're going to try at the honor band process this year, which is going to be the same type of qualifying process where you send in recordings, they judge them anonymously, and then rank you in the state. And so I wanted to see what this group could handle, and they learned all of this in 9 rehearsals, which is really impressive. And I was telling them before we performed tonight, I said, you know, the group 2 years ago that submitted for Midwest was really great. And when this group is on, it's even better than that one. And I think that's really special, and I know we're in for a really great year of music making with them. So give it up for these students one more time. And it wouldn't be a Christmas concert without a little sleigh ride to close it out. So we will conclude our portion of tonight's concert with Sleigh Ride by Leroy Anderson. And thank you so much again for being here this evening.